Love isn't supposed to vanish overnight. It's meant to erode slowly, slipping away like sand through fingers, barely noticeable until nothing remains. That's what I told myself when the first cracks appeared in my marriage. Emma had once been everything, my best friend, my greatest love, my home. When we married, I believed in forever. I never imagined that trust could disintegrate so quickly, leaving behind nothing but hollow memories. It started with little things. Missed calls. Late nights at work. The way she turned her phone screen away whenever I entered the room. At first, I ignored the signs, convincing myself that I was overthinking. But suspicion has a way of sinking its claws deep, refusing to let go. One evening, Emma came home wearing a perfume I didn't recognize. Expensive, alluring, yet foreign to me. I asked her about it. "A gift from a coworker," she said, smiling, pressing a kiss to my cheek. Her lips lingered, warm yet distant. "Do you like it?" I nodded, but unease curled in my stomach. Something felt wrong. Weeks passed, my doubts festering like an untreated wound. She became more distant, avoiding my touch, her laughter reserved for conversations I wasn't part of. When I asked if something was wrong, she dismissed me with an easy smile. "Work stress," she'd say. "It's nothing, baby." I wanted to believe her. I really did. Then, the late nights turned into weekends away. One Friday, she claimed she had a corporate retreat. "No signal in the mountains," she added casually while packing. I watched her fold delicate lace lingerie into her suitcase, one she never wore for me anymore. A gnawing feeling in my gut screamed at me to dig deeper. That night, I poured myself a drink, sat on the couch, and pulled up our shared laptop. Emma rarely logged out of her account. If there was nothing to hide, then I was just being paranoid, right? But there was something to hide. A dinner reservation. Saturday night. Candlelit. 4-2. My name wasn't on the guest list. My hands clenched into fists as I stared at the screen. My heart pounded in my chest, rage rising like a tidal wave. I wanted to be wrong. I wanted some reasonable explanation. But deep down, I already knew the truth. Emma was cheating on me. The betrayal burned, an unbearable ache in my chest. Memories of us, our wedding vows, our laughter, our whispered, "I love you,"s in the dead of night, flashed through my mind. Had any of it been real? Or had I been a fool, blindly loving someone who had already moved on? I needed proof. Confronting her now would only lead to lies, deflections, more manipulation. I needed to see it with my own eyes. So, the next evening, I followed her. Dressed in dark jeans and a hoodie, I kept my distance as she left the house. She drove across town, pulling up in front of an upscale restaurant known for its intimate atmosphere, where lovers, not business partners, dined. Inside, candlelight flickered against the walls, casting everything in a golden glow. The scent of wine and expensive dishes filled the air. My breath caught when I spotted her. Emma. Dressed in a silky red dress I hadn't seen before. Her hair perfectly styled, lips painted a deep crimson. She looked breathtaking. And she wasn't alone. Across from her sat a man, tall, dark-haired, well-dressed. His fingers trailed along the back of her hand as he leaned in, whispering something that made her laugh. My stomach twisted into knots. This was it. The undeniable truth laid out in front of me. I should have walked away, but my feet refused to move. I watched, frozen, as she reached across the table, touching his cheek with a tenderness that once belonged to me. My world shattered. Pain morphed into cold resolve. That night, when Emma returned home, she found divorce papers waiting on the kitchen counter. Her laughter from earlier still echoed in my ears as I walked away, leaving behind a love that had already left me long ago. Emma stared at the divorce papers as if they were written in a foreign language. Silence stretched between us, thick and suffocating. Then she laughed, a slow, cruel sound that sent a chill down my spine. "You're serious?" she scoffed, tossing the papers onto the counter. "You actually think you can leave me?" I clenched my jaw. "It's already done." She stepped closer, her scent, a mix of vanilla and something darker, wrapping around me like a noose. Her fingers trailed up my chest, feather-light but intentional. "Oh, baby," she whispered, voice dripping with amusement, "you and I both know you don't really want this." I grabbed her wrist, firm but controlled. "I saw you," I said, my voice like steel. "At the restaurant. With him." Emma's smirk faltered for just a moment before she tilted her head, eyes flashing with something unreadable. "So, you spied on me?" she teased, pulling free from my grasp. "That's not very trusting of you, husband." Anger simmered beneath my skin. "Trust? Don't talk to me about trust." Instead of guilt or regret, she smiled. A slow, knowing curve of her lips. "Fine," she said, crossing her arms. "I was with someone. But let's not pretend you've been the perfect husband, either." My fists clenched. "I never cheated on you." "Maybe not with another woman," she mused, stepping closer again, her body pressing against mine, "but you checked out a long time ago, didn't you? Buried yourself in work, ignored me in bed, stopped looking at me like you used to." Her nails dragged lightly over my collarbone, sending an involuntary shiver down my spine. "Did you really think I wouldn't notice?" I hated that my body responded to her touch. Hated that my pulse quickened, even as my mind screamed at me to walk away. She saw it too. Emma's smirk returned, triumphant. "See? You still want me." I gritted my teeth. "That doesn't change what you did." Her fingers trailed lower, dangerously slow. "Then let me remind you," she whispered, voice husky, "why you married me in the first place." My resolve wavered. Lust and anger blurred together, twisting into something reckless and uncontrollable. Her lips ghosted over mine, teasing, taunting. I should have pulled away. But I didn't. Instead, I kissed her. Hard, punishing, desperate. Emma gasped against my mouth, her hands tangling in my hair as she pressed closer. The room spun as years of tension, betrayal, and longing exploded between us. Clothes fell away, skin met skin, and every unspoken word was replaced with gasps, moans, nails digging into flesh. For hours we drowned in each other. A twisted, fiery reunion built on broken trust and raw hunger. When dawn broke, I woke to the soft glow of morning filtering through the curtains. Emma lay beside me, tangled in the sheets, her body curled against mine like nothing had changed. Like we weren't standing on the edge of destruction. Reality hit like a freight train. I had just spent the night with the woman who betrayed me. Disgust coiled in my chest, not at her, but at myself, at my weakness. Emma stirred, lips curling into a sleepy smile. "Morning, husband," she murmured, tracing lazy circles on my bare chest. I swallowed the bitterness rising in my throat. Pushing her hand away, I sat up, reaching for my clothes. "This doesn't fix anything." She stretched, unbothered, watching me dress with a slow, satisfied smirk. "It changes everything," she countered. I turned to face her. "No, Emma. It was a mistake." Her expression darkened, lips pressing into a thin line. "You don't get to walk away from me, just like that." I met her gaze, steady and cold. "Watch me." Her eyes flashed with something dangerous. "If you go through with this divorce," she said, voice low and warning, "you'll regret it." I didn't reply. I simply walked out the door, leaving behind the wreckage of a marriage that was beyond saving. But something told me Emma wasn't done with me yet. Walking away from Emma should have been the end. I should have felt relief, closure, anything but the gnawing unease twisting in my gut. Days passed, then a week. My lawyer confirmed she hadn't signed the divorce papers. No calls. No texts. Nothing. It was too quiet. And Emma was never quiet. Then, the chaos began. First, my boss called me into his office. He wore a grim expression, tapping his fingers against his desk. "Look, I don't know what's going on in your personal life, but we received some troubling emails about you." My stomach dropped. "What emails?" With a sigh, he turned his monitor toward me. My blood ran cold. Explicit messages. Photos. Fake receipts for expensive dinners, hotel stays and gifts, all supposedly sent by me to an imaginary mistress. Someone had carefully constructed a picture of me as an unfaithful husband with a lavish double life. Emma. I clenched my fist. This is a lie. My boss studied me, lips pressed into a thin line. I believe you, but corporate won't like this kind of scandal. Be careful. I left his office seething. Emma wasn't trying to win me back. She was trying to burn my life down. Then came the credit card charges. Thousands drained from our joint account. I called the bank, furious, but the transactions were technically legal. She was still my wife. Next, my landlord called. I'm sorry, but I have to terminate your lease, he said, sounding almost apologetic. Your wife mentioned a history of violent outbursts. I can't take any risks. I had never laid a hand on Emma, never raised my voice, but her manipulation was working. My world was unraveling, and she was the one pulling the strings. That night, I returned to my half-packed apartment to find the door unlocked. Emma sat on my couch, swirling a glass of wine. Miss me? She purred. Rage boiled in my veins. Get out. She took a slow sip, smirking. Now, is that any way to talk to your loving wife? You're not my wife anymore. She set the glass down, standing gracefully. I haven't signed anything, sweetheart. That means you're still mine. I exhaled sharply, forcing calm into my voice. What do you want, Emma? Her eyes darkened. You. I laughed bitterly. That's funny, considering you had no problem replacing me. Emma tilted her head. You think he mattered? He was a distraction. But you. She stepped closer, fingertips trailing over my jaw. You belong to me. I grabbed her wrist, pulling it away. Not anymore. Something snapped in her expression. A flicker of rage beneath the seductive mask. You really think you can just walk away? I gestured around. You've made it pretty damn clear that you're not letting me. Her lips curled into a wicked smile. Then stop fighting it. You still want me. I did. And that was the problem. Emma had always known how to get under my skin, how to twist pain into desire, hate into hunger. She pressed against me, eyes smoldering, daring me to resist. My body betrayed me first. She kissed me, hot, desperate, claiming. I hated myself for responding, but lust and anger tangled together, igniting something primal. We tore into each other, furniture forgotten, bodies colliding in a feverish, reckless mess. It was raw, untamed, a battle neither of us wanted to lose. When it was over, I lay there, staring at the ceiling, breathless and furious. Emma curled against me, nails lightly tracing my chest. See, she whispered. You'll never leave me. A cold realization settled over me. This wasn't love. This was control. And I wasn't going to let her win. Emma thought she had me trapped. But I had one final move left to make. Lying there beside Emma, her body still tangled with mine, I felt the weight of my mistake settle deep in my bones. She had won this round, but she had no idea what was coming next. Emma had always played her games with confidence, believing she could manipulate, seduce, and destroy without consequence. But I wasn't the same man who had once loved her blindly. I had one last card to play. Gently, I shifted away from her. Emma stirred, a satisfied smirk on her lips. Leaving so soon? She purred, fingers grazing my chest. I forced a lazy grin. Just getting some water. Be right back. She hummed in approval, stretching like a satisfied predator. Hurry back, husband. Hearing her call me that made my skin crawl. I moved silently through the apartment, grabbing my phone from the dresser. The voice memo was still running. Every word, every confession, recorded. Emma had admitted to everything, manipulating me, draining our finances, faking abuse allegations. And she had done it with smug satisfaction, believing she was untouchable. I dressed quickly, slipping my phone into my pocket. My heart pounded, adrenaline coursing through me. This was it. I had everything I needed to end her reign of destruction. By morning, I had already sent the recording to my lawyer. I also forwarded it to my employer, my bank, and, most importantly, the police. Emma had committed fraud, slander, and harassment. And now she would face the consequences. The knock on my door came at noon. Emma stood outside, looking livid. "What the hell did you do?" I leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. I fought back. Her nostrils flared. "You think you can destroy me?" I smirked. "No, Emma. You did that yourself." She lunged forward, gripping my shirt. "You still love me," she hissed. "That's why you keep coming back. That's why you—" "I feel nothing for you," I cut in, voice calm. "You're nothing to me now." She froze. For the first time, I saw something other than arrogance in her eyes. Fear. Her control over me was gone. Emma's breath came fast, her grip loosening. "You can't just erase me." I stepped back. "Watch me." As I closed the door, I heard her muffled curse. Footsteps storming away. The battle was over. I was finally free.